गांधी।
मैं जानवरों को मैं देखभाल करती हूँ, मैं करूंगी, आगे भी बढ़ाऊंगी और करूंगा। और यहाँ ऐसा कोई कानून नहीं है कि कुत्ता हाउस में नहीं आएगा, क्योंकि मैं आपको वीडियो दिखाऊंगी। वाजपेयी जी बैलगाड़ी लेके आए थे। ये अपने आप को बड़ा हिंदू हिंदू बोलते हैं, ये मालूम नहीं कि कुत्ता इतना वफादार है कि वो ऊपर तक गई युधिष्ठ से वही दिखाई कि वफादारी। खैर, वफादारी के बारे में ये क्या जाने। छोटा पिल्ला निकल के सड़क पे घूम रही थी, मैंने सोचा ये किसी पहिए के नीचे आ जाएगी, मैं उठा के उसको गाड़ी में रखी और पार्लियामेंट आई और वापस भिजवा दी। गाड़ी भी गई, कुत्ता भी गई। तो किस बात की चर्चा चल रही है? असली डसने वाले और काटने वाले पार्लियामेंट में बैठे हैं, सरकार चलाते हैं।
क्या कर दिया बेचारे कुत्ते ने? यहाँ आया था क्या?
हाँ सर, यही है।
अलाउड नहीं है क्या?
ऐसा कोई रूल बुक में नहीं है, बट
पेट अलाउड नहीं है। पेट अलाउड नहीं है, बट अंदर अलाउड है।
yeah, the same statement. If it's inside the car, it's allowed.
Dogs are not allowed. Street dogs are wandering here and there. No, but they are not pets, no? Maybe pets are not allowed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess these are the things that India is discussing these days.
But Renuka Chaudhary is not the only one. She is in august company. For example, Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy. Remember, he had once famously declared that Congress is Muslim and Muslim is Congress. He has now found grounds for humor in the crores of deities that Hindus pray to. So he asked, how is it that there is one Hindu deity for every single person, whether you're married, whether you're unmarried, whether you're married twice, whether you're drunkard or you're teetotaler, there is one Hindu deity for everyone. Great laughs, right? But then there was also Congress spokesperson Ragini. She had a joke of her own, a tasteless one at that, where she showed a video, an AI video, a fake video, artificial intelligence generated video of the Prime Minister as Chaiwala. The question simply is why? What does this even achieve? Is this just plain mistimed humor or nothing short of a death wish?
హిందువులలో ఎన్ని దేవతలు ఉండ్రు? ఎంతమంది దేవుళ్ళు? 3 కోట్లు ఉండ్రా? ఎందుకున్నాయి? పెళ్లి చేసుకోవడానికి హనుమంతుడు ఉన్నాడు, 2 పెళ్లిళ్ళు చేసుకునేటోనికి ఇంకొక ఆయన దేవుడు ఉన్నాడు, మందు తాగేటోళ్ళకి ఓ దేవుడు ఉన్నాడు, ఎల్లమ్మ, పోషమ్మ, మైసమ్మ, కళ్ళు కొయ్యాలి, కోడి కొయ్యాలి అనేటోళ్ళకు ఉండ్రు, పప్పన్నం తినేటోళ్ళకు కూడా దేవుడు ఉండు. అవునా? అన్ని రకాల దేవుళ్ళు ఉన్నారు.
कांग्रेस की एक विख्यात सांसद जो अपने ऊंचे स्वर के अट्टहास के लिए सुविख्यात ऑब्लिक कुख्यात हैं, आज जब उनसे किसी पत्रकार ने पूछा तो उन्होंने जिस प्रकार से भौंकने का कार्य किया, और उससे पहले कल उन्होंने क्या कहा, ये काटने वाले नहीं है, काटने वाले अंदर बैठे हैं। अर्थात देश की पूरी संसद को के सांसदों को काटने वाला कहना और काटने का संदर्भ कुत्ते के साथ जोड़कर कहना, यह दर्शाता है कि पूरी संसद की गरिमा को ध्वस्त करना कांग्रेस का एक विधिवत सुविचारित अभियान हो गया है।
बड़ा अच्छा जवाब दिया, मुझे लगता है उसके बाद कोई जवाब देने लायक बचता ही नहीं है। मेरे को तो खांसी भी हो रही नहीं तो मैं भी जवाब दे देता। मैं खांसता हूं तो भी ऐसे लगेगा आपको कि मैं भी वही कर रहा हूं।
Well, at least the good thing is everyone's laughing. I don't know if they'll be laughing anymore after they see the public reactions. And that brings us to the question on which the buck stops here. Are these theatrics doing the Congress a kind of damage that it simply refuses to see? They simply cannot see how it's going to be perceived by the public? Or is this really much ado about nothing? Joining us on the show today, we have Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, senior journalist Harshvardhan Tripathi. We'll be joined by political analyst Tehseen Poonawala and Nikhil Jain. But I want to start with you, Rashid Kidwai. You know, I've heard a lot of people who cover Parliament, who cover the Congress party say that this is actually a pattern. It is well thought out. People like Renuka Chaudhary, Ragini Nayak, people like Revanth Reddy actually think that this works, that the Congress High Command is going to be quite happy with this kind of aggression, bad sense of humor, call it what you will. Why would somebody who's been a minister in the union cabinet, somebody who's a seasoned politician like Renuka Chaudhary, make such a spectacle of herself?
So, Padmaja, I think you're giving too much credit to the Congress party. Congress is a very chaotic, very disorganized political party, if they cannot have any kind of positive campaign or election strategy or a leadership issue. On a serious note, I can say, for instance, you look at Priyanka Gandhi, she's the AICC General Secretary, but for 10 months or more, she does not have a kind of portfolio or work allocation. So to say that they are doing this in an organized way, Renuka Chaudhary, Revanth Reddy, all those things, I think it's giving too much of credibility or credence to the.
But sir, they can't be so chaotic that they can't understand that, putting out an AI video of the Prime Minister as Chai Wala is not just pointless. I mean, frankly, I don't even see the point. There is no Chai Wala reference that is relevant right now. You've got Putin who's going to be in our country. You have just come off from a terrible loss in the Bihar elections, and then you put out this video and you think, what a joke. Apparently, हंसते हंसते पेट में दर्द हो गया. दर्द कहीं और है. आप उस दर्द को देख नहीं पा रहे हैं. आपके पेट में दर्द नहीं, आपके सर में दर्द होना चाहिए ये सब देख के.
So, Padmaja, I see your point. This is really in poor taste, and that is where I think, Padmaja, we must also remember that there is it's not a justification, it is just an explanation that there is a lot of trust deficit between the principal opposition party and the ruling party and coalition. It's very sad, it's very unfortunate. We can go on using adjectives, but this is a reflection of that. It takes two to tango. There is a lot of past, there is a lot of context. Again, not a justification. I keep repeating. This is a reflection of the trust deficit.
But
this
sir,
is not
the
how
trust deficit, and
I
I know exactly what the Congress's response to all of this is going to be, that, we are very touched to see your concern. Why are you so worried about what's happening in the Congress? We frankly were more worried about what was happening in Bihar also, and our worries came true. Matlab, clearly the Congress wasn't worried, but then they have the 6 seats as a result, exactly for that reason. They weren't worried. And after all of that, Nikhil Jain, you still come up with a bow wow. That's your best bet. The winter session of Parliament is on. There are 100,001 things which you could talk about, and doing bow wow is definitely not one of them.
Padmaja, so if you ask my personal opinion, I don't think any political party should be posting the kind of videos that have been posted. But you also have to look at what the other side is doing. You have the Prime Minister himself calling the entire opposition of the country dramebaz. And you make a very pertinent point when you say that there are 1,001 issues that the opposition can talk about. And the thing is that the opposition does want to talk about those issues, whether it is Rahul Gandhi saying that the pollution crisis in Delhi should be discussed as a national emergency health crisis, whether it is the issue of SIR, whether it is the issue of forests being fallen, and the number of issues that the opposition really wants to talk about. And not just the Congress party, across the board. But what does the BJP want to talk about? The fact that some member of parliament brought her pet dog in her car, which dog went away with the car. I don't even know why do we need to discuss it every day.
But
Yet I find
don't do it, my friend. Don't do
it.
If you don't want it discussed, don't do it. If you don't want to take the focus away from issues, don't give the platform to somebody who uses curse words for the Prime Minister's mother. Don't do it. Don't you see a pattern? Every single time you will take your foot and ram it into a axe, and then you'll be like, why is everyone talking about the blood that is flowing out? Because you're doing stupid things.
Padmaja, let me make it very clear that the incident that you're talking about when somebody abused the Prime Minister using a slur for his mother, that was not a worker or not an office bearer of the Congress party.
Fine, then why is Ragini Nayak posting this idiotic video, my friend? Even if that man was a nobody, you could disown him. What wisdom has dawned upon your official national spokesperson to put up this pointless, idiotic video?
I already said that I really feel that political parties and politicians should not put out content like this. But what do you do when the Prime Minister himself calls the entire opposition dramebaz? Do we just look at one side?
When the Prime Minister calls you dramebaz, you do drama. And you prove him right. So he's just called you frivolous, flippant and dramebaz. So you say, yes, Mr. Modi, you are absolutely right. So we are going to make a strange AI video and prove you correct.
All right. So tell me this, when Shehzad Poonawala, one of the most prominent national spokespersons who was also on the debate, he makes an entire video and a bite about the fact that a member of parliament had her pet dog in her car while the car was in the parliamentary complex. Was that not futile? I have the greatest of respect for Shehzad, and I know Shehzad knows the real issues. He can talk with facts, stats, figures, yet his party chooses that somebody like him has to speak on things like that.
Okay,
That
Shahzad
is the problem
Poonawala,
that we're facing
convenient
today. It's not
distraction.
one-sided.
100,001 things are happening inside Parliament, but you cotton on to this one thing which is convenient for you.
You know, your producer has written the line Congress ka triple engine, which is a trouble engine, and that is RRR. Revanth, who has insulted Sanatan. Then you have Renuka Chaudhary ji, who has insulted Sansad. She, by the way, did not just get the dog. She said, andar baithne wala staff, Karmchari, Group C, Group D people, they are the ones who bite. And then you have had her statement on Sanatan as well. And then third R is Ragini, who has mocked Prime Minister for being a chai wala. हाँ, हम गर्व से चाय बेचते हैं, हमने देश नहीं बेचा. और सबका अगर पास्ट प्रोफेशन निकालना है ना, सोनिया जी का, राहुल जी का, नेहरू जी का, तो बहुत कुछ निकलेगा. हम तो गर्व से चाय वाले हैं. चौकीदार को भी आपने चोर बोला. Anyway, let's not get into that, but your producer missed the most important thing. There is a fourth R. Rahul is the real R. आप बताइए, सेना का अपमान रेणुका जी ने किया. What did Rahul Gandhi say about सेना? कि इनकी पिटाई हुई, and Supreme Court had to say no Indian speaks like this. संसद का अपमान रेणुका जी ने किया. Who said that our Indian democracy is not functioning? Please intervene. R for Rahul said that. Then you have Sanatan का अपमान Mr. Reddy ने किया. Who is the one who has constantly said Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha is नाच गाना, Ram ji is काल्पनिक, ड्रामा होता है द्वारका में, Arjun ji taught jihad. All of these statements are said by Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So the most important R is Rahul. He is the first R engine which is driving these three R. और जब ये मेन R ही ऐसा बोलेगा तो बाकी के R क्या बोलेंगे? Point number one. Point number two. Look at what happened yesterday. We have missed a very important thing. PMO was renamed or rechristened as Seva Tirth. We have seen that how 7 Racecourse Road has become Lok Kalyan Marg. Rajpath has become Kartavya Path. One place we say Janmat ko salam, Janmat ko naman. And the others who say Janpat ko salam, they are the ones slandering even the Janta when they question the election commission on losing elections, when they question parliament, when they abuse the people's elected prime minister for the third time over, and they do it 150 times.
So
is this a Sahyog?
So then you focus on all of that, na? Nikhil Jain is saying you focus on all of that. Why are you focusing on frivolous? These are all side notes. Why do you want to keep the focus on that?
If Madam Renuka Chaudhary is so frivolous, then see there are two analysts on this debate, Tehseen and Nikhil. Both are distancing themselves. Shouldn't Congress send these two to parliament rather than Renuka? You said कि Renuka, Mr. Rashid Kidwai, he has written a book called 24 Akbar Road. He said that Renuka Chaudhary जो बोल रही है, ignore her in the sense, अरे Renuka is there because she says these things. Rashid Kidwai knows better than most people that because she impresses the first family.
You're giving the Congress too much credit.
No, I'll also tell you.
Nobody's telling Renuka Chaudhary go and say bhav bhav. I mean,
one second. You will be surprised at the level of disconnect and sense of entitlement that plagues Rahul Gandhi. And when the leaders know that Rahul Gandhi himself is in such a sense of delusion and entitlement, we have to reflect upon that. And lastly, Mr. Rashid Kidwai, with all due respect, he said that this reflects the trust deficit between treasury benches and opposition. Sir, the Congress party boycotted the Vice President oath. They boycotted the Chief Justice of India oath. They boycotted Independence Day program. They are routinely boycotting even constitutional, important functions like having tea with the speaker after the session ends. Is this the trust deficit because of the government, or is it because you consider that your Parivar Tantra, again, Janpat ko salam, not Janmat. So they put Janpat and Parivar Tantra above Samvidhan Tantra.
Okay, so
deep into this is the mindset of entitlement.
Okay, so Tehseen Poonawala, the argument here being made by Shahzad Poonawala is that this is not the exception. People like RRR are the rule, and this is the level of political discourse that the Congress has gone to.
Rahul endorses.
Good evening, Padmaja. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Good evening to all my fellow panelists and to all your viewers. Let's take this step by step. First of all, there were some statements made. These are unacceptable. I don't think these memes, these videos, or even these kind of statements should be taken seriously. I also think that they lack gravitas, and I think that particularly because I'm a Congress voter, and the Congress is, the party which had intellectuals like Nehru, Gandhi, Patel. You can agree, disagree with them, Maulana Azhar. I think it doesn't behove this grand old party. Having said that, I am not prepared to take moral science lectures from the BJP spokesperson sitting here. The BJP is the same political party that called Mrs. Gandhi a Jersey cow, or Rahul ji a hybrid bacha. Even recently, the language used for the honorable leader of opposition, Giriraj Singh ji said that Mrs. Gandhi only won elections because she's fair skinned. If she was dark, she would not win elections. So there have been statements made about Mrs. Gandhi as well, about Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji as well. And I think that the discourse itself has fallen low and everybody should bring the discourse out. But now let's come to what somebody comes in parliament, acts juvenile, goes about doing bow. And Padmaja, you and I are both dog lovers, but I thought this was juvenile. Is that the issue or Janmat? And Seva of the Jan is the pollution in Delhi today.
I'm also a cow lover, but I don't get a cow into the studio and say, well, you know, there is no rule against it. Sure, there are no rules against any of these things because nobody thinks you would do something so stupid.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And it is the BJP that actually got a bullock cart into parliament, but that's another era and we'll go back and I don't want to debate that. Today when you talk about Janmat, and Jan's mat is to do seva of the Jan. Raghu Kulreet sada chali aaye, pran jaye par vachan na jaye. This pollution in Delhi, what are you doing about that? That is the issue. Is Baobab the issue or the pollution in Delhi the issue? Okay. Is the issue about, yes, we've got 8% plus growth, but we have the highest unemployment.
Again, you are sidetracking the debate.
Says the CMI.
This really doesn't work. You know, either we can address what is the question at hand. You can't simply have multiple such actions being dismissed as, oh, let's not take this seriously. If you are not to take this seriously, you are a member of parliament in the upper house of our parliament. You are an MP in the upper house, in the house of elders. If you cannot be serious, if your politics cannot have gravitas, leave, get out. You can't be there representing a party. That man got onto a stage, oh, he was not associated, he was some sidey. Revanth Reddy has said it, oh, he just made a joke. Ragini Naik is doing it, let's ignore it, that's a personal opinion. Renuka Chaudhary is doing it, you know, we're giving too much importance, let's talk about the third thing. Okay, so then she should talk about a third thing instead of barking on camera.
Okay, so is it your argument then, Padmaja, or the argument, not yours, the argument of the government that they are not running parliament because outside parliament, Renuka Chaudhary is doing bow on the mic? It is their job to run parliament and discuss serious issues. They don't want to discuss. Even today, the most honorable... Padmaja, just take 10 seconds and I'll end. Padmaja, just take 10 seconds. Yeah. Just 10 seconds. Padmaja, just 10 seconds and I'll end. Just 10 seconds. Even today, without any provocation, without anything, the most honorable defense minister got Babar in, got Babri Mosque in, got Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's daughter in. Are these issues or the other issues?
Again, you are sidetracking the issue. No, I will not allow for this debate to be sidetracked. One, Rajnath Singh did not make that statement inside parliament. He made that statement when he was addressing a run for unity, which is on Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's birth anniversary. That's point number one. Point number two,
Ragini didn't do it inside parliament either.
Parliament is functioning. You can bring up all these issues in parliament, but before you respond, I really must take the first comments from Harshvardhan ji. Harshvardhan ji, you know, क्या एक बात का बतंगड़ बनाया जा रहा है जस्ट क्योंकि सारा फोकस कांग्रेस के ऊपर रहना चाहिए. बार बार कांग्रेस यही कहती है कि राहुल गांधी ने भी कहा कि देखिए आप देश में कुत्तों की बात हो रही है क्योंकि असली मुद्दों को आप बात करना नहीं चाहते. आई वांट टू रन सम विजुअल्स. जैसे कि आज दीपेंद्र हुड्डा थे, वो मास्क लगा करके आए, उन्होंने कहा कि भाई पोल्यूशन की बात करो, बट नहीं, सारा फोकस रेणुका चौधरी के ऊपर. आज लेबर कोड के खिलाफ प्रोटेस्ट किया गया लेकिन सारा फोकस रेणुका चौधरी के ऊपर. SIR के खिलाफ प्रोटेस्ट किया गया है, सारा फोकस रेणुका चौधरी के ऊपर. व्हाई? शी इज जस्ट एन एक्सेप्शन, नॉट द रूल.
मुझे सबसे पहले तो ये कि दीपेंद्र हुड्डा ने जो किया या और जो लोग प्रदूषण कर रहे हैं, बहुत सीरियस टॉपिक है. इससे बड़ा टॉपिक आज के समय देश में कोई नहीं है और उसके लिए नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार की जवाबदेही तय होनी चाहिए, बीजेपी की जवाबदेही तय होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि केंद्र में, दिल्ली NCR के लगभग सभी राज्यों में और देश भर में सबसे ज्यादा सरकारें भाजपा की है. इसी पर सवाल जवाब होना चाहिए. सबसे बड़ी चर्चा भी संसद में इसी पर होनी चाहिए क्योंकि दिल्ली NCR नहीं, पूरा देश हाँफ रहा है, फेफड़े सबके जवाब दे रहे हैं. बच्चे, बूढ़े, जवान जो कहते हैं ना, एक वो विज्ञापन आता था, तो सब प्रदूषण से त्रस्त हैं. तो दीपेंद्र हुड्डा जो कर रहे हैं, आपको जो भी लगे, ये तरीका प्रदर्शन का है और यही तरीका अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी ने अपनाया था जब उनको पेट्रोल डीजल का विरोध करना था तो वो बैलगाड़ी से चले आए थे उसकी बढ़ती कीमतों का. क्या विरोध करने का तरीका तक कांग्रेस नहीं सीख पाई? आरोप लगता था कि बीजेपी वो अपोजिशन की पार्टी है, वो कभी गवर्नमेंट चला ही नहीं सकते, सत्ता में आना नहीं आता. वो तो सीख गए और आप विपक्ष में आना आज तक नहीं सीख पाए हैं. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, ये अभी राशिद किदवई जी ने कहा और मैं तो उनके सामने मतलब कांग्रेस की समझ के मामले में तो पासंग ही हूं. उन्होंने 2 शब्द इस्तेमाल किए, डिसऑर्गेनाइज्ड और केओटिक स्टेट। कांग्रेस वैसी ही है, ठीक बात है, लेकिन उसके आगे जब आप ट्रिपल आर चला रही ना पद्मजा, तो उसमें ट्रिपल आर नहीं, ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट वन मोर आर, राहुल गांधी। राहुल गांधी के बयान को आप देखिए, तब आपको समझ में आएगा कि केओटिक है, डिसऑर्गेनाइज्ड है, लेकिन इगोइस्ट है, सेंस ऑफ एंटाइटलमेंट है। देश हम जैसे भी चलाएं, आप सोचिए राहुल गांधी कह रहे हैं जिस अंदाज में वो जवाब दे रहे हैं, और उसका पवन खेड़ा कहते हैं कि मैं खांसता तो वो भी कुत्ते जैसी आवाज आती। मतलब कहां जा रहे हैं ये लोग लेकर, और ये कहेंगे कि हम देश चलाना चाहते हैं, हमको भरोसा क्यों नहीं होता, हमको जनता विश्वास क्यों नहीं करती। सचमुच अगर सरकार को घेरने के जो मुद्दे हैं, इनकी हरकतों की वजह से सरकार बचकर निकल जाती है, उसको एस्केप रूट मिलता है।
Can I ask, because I want them to then answer it.
Okay.
You know, Tehseen has brought in a lot of things, and he thinks that we are all fools to get confused by his narratives. He said it's unacceptable. Ragini tweeted this, lacks gravitas. Ragini has still not deleted that tweet. And Tehseen Poonawalla, the same AI-generated video of the PM's mother was tweeted by the Bihar Congress official handle, and Patna High Court asked them to delete it, not Rahul Gandhi. By the way, there is no statement of Mr. Prime Minister ever saying Sonia Gandhi's jersey cow or Rahul Gandhi's hybrid bachra. That is in your mind that he said it. But there is a statement of Rahul Gandhi saying Sena ki pitai honi chahiye, Sena ki pitai hui, which the Supreme Court took cognizance of, and Rahul Gandhi has said that Prime Minister ko lathi dande padenge. But let me make two more points. Why are we focusing on only these statements? I quoted 3 statements. The second statement was the Sanatan slander that was done by Mr. Revanth Reddy. Nothing on that. इस्लाम के बारे में एक शब्द बोल दो तो यूनाइटेड नेशंस पहुंच जाते भाई। आज जिहाद की बात पार्लियामेंट में नहीं 10 seconds more. And the next statement is that there's one second. And Renuka Chaudhary yesterday also said one more thing, that सेना पर जुल्म हो रहा है, सेना पर जुल्म हो रहा है. This statement has been made about the armed forces. Tehseen Poonawalla has conveniently ignored these 2 statements. And finally I want to ask, pollution का दीपेंद्र जी ने मास्क पहना, ही कॉपीड माय आइडिया, ठीक है, अच्छी बात है। हिडमा का वीडियो तो राहुल गांधी ने लगाया पोल्यूशन पे, पोल्यूशन नहीं कल्यूजन है, ये नक्सलियों का बढ़ाने का कल्यूजन है।
You can't sidestep that. Shehzad Purwala, 2 years ago, you had a mask on. Today you are coughing.
I am not sidestepping. No, one second. First of all, my cough is attributable to I have gone to a non-NDA state and caught cold. So don't put my cough to this. But let me just I am not saying pollution is not an issue. I am saying something else. I am saying Dipinder Hooda's mask wala video is not on Rahul's Twitter. Hidma protesters are on Rahul's Twitter.
Okay.
That is my point.
All right. Out of touch with public sentiment and entitled. Nikhil Jain.
Padmini, I'm sorry, there's some issue with the audio, so I didn't hear your question. But can I please just respond to the number of points that Shehzad has made?
My question is very simple. All of this shows that you are out of touch with public sentiment, and there is an added sense of entitlement.
No, Padmaja, that's the point I keep on making, that the Congress party and its leaders are not out of touch with the public sentiment. Pollution, even Harshvardhan ji is today agreeing, is one of the most important issues plaguing this country and Delhi NCR, and the Congress party is actively trying to take it up. But the BJP is trying to embroil the Congress party and the entire opposition in very non-issues. Now, I will have to spend at least 30 seconds.
Why do you keep doing these things, Nikhil Jain? How will it be a non-issue? You can dismiss Ragini Nayak. Tell me, how will you dismiss Revanth Reddy, a chief minister who 1 month ago during the Jubilee Hills bypoll said Muslims are Congress, Congress is Muslims, coming and saying, oh, you've got 30 crore gods, you've got 300 crore gods. In which world is it funny? How can you not sit there and see the words leaving your mouth and seeing the potential that they have of wiping out your party?
Padmaja, that is the problem, that whenever anything is said by a Congress leader, the BJP twists it and makes it into some sort of an insult for the country, for the forces.
How was this twisted?
Let me respond to that. Can I please respond? I have it noted. So far as Revanth Reddy's statement is concerned, you would have to look that it was made at an event with Congress district Congress office bearers, and it was in context of the fact that Congress party was not able to decide on district office bearers, and what he said was that Congress party reflects the same sort of diversity as we see in the religion of Hinduism. Hinduism has a lot of gods. There are gods for people who want to stay single. There are gods for people who want to marry somebody. There are gods to which prayers are offered, prasad is offered, a non-vegetarian prasad is offered. There are gods to which liquor is offered as prasad. There are gods to which vegetarian food is offered. What Revanth Reddy said was that we are like the Congress party reflects the
Nikhil
ethos
Jain,
of
if you try to
inclusion,
start
diversity.
giving context to things like this, I think everyone watching right now can see what the root of the problem is.
It is a
that somebody is
statement made in
actually
Telugu.
trying to
It is
make
a
sense
statement.
of a statement where a CM says, how many gods do Hindus believe in? Are there 3 crore? Why do so many exist?
That's not how we ask.
There is one
No,
god
no,
for
no.
those who are unmarried, Hanuman. Why? Why? Are you a priest? Are you a theologian? Are you a stand-up comic? Why are you making these jokes?
Padmaja, it was in context of a certain thing that the
Okay,
Congress
context.
party embraces diversity. And now, can I please respond to the earlier points? Can I please? 30 seconds.
Padmaja has called my name.
So let's
30
settle
seconds to
this
the
now.
earlier
Let's settle
points.
the
30
context
seconds.
issue, or we'll keep
Let
going
us
round in
settle this.
circles. This was
Can
taken
you
out of
please-
context by
Can you
yes.
please explain the context in which Congress leader Priyank Khadge compared Sanatan with a bimari, with malaria, with which DMK leaders said that it should be exterminated, with which it was said that Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha was a Nach Gana? Would you say that about the pious Hajj, where Ramcharitmanas was burnt down? When you said that there was Krishna ji was teaching Arjun jihad. So can you please tell me the context, and has this context been used in context of any other faith? Yes or no? And सेना को जुल्म हो रहा है सेना पे, सेना has been forced to speak it. ये कौन से context में था?
निखिल जैन.
सड़क का गुंडा भी context में था?
Oh my God! Can I please respond?
Yes, go on.
You'll have to allow me to respond. Thank you so much. So far as Pran Pratishtha was concerned, this again is the BJP twisting the facts. Nobody said that Pran Pratishtha is Nach Gana. What was said was that
Rahul
people
literally
were
said
doing.
that.
Shehzad, you can't interject
He
in the
said
middle
you
of
can't lie on a
Can
debate. People
Shehzad,
will
you'll have
fact
to let
check
me
you.
complete my point. Shehzad, you'll have to let me complete my point. That's very unfair here. I was not interjecting when you were speaking.
But you're
Let me
lying.
Allow me the chance to respond to the points that you
Lie
made.
cannot
if
be
you
response.
Really cared about, if you're really concerned about these issues, allow me to at least respond. What you say is that Pran Pratishtha ko Nach Gana kaha. Nobody said Pran Pratishtha Nach Gana hai. What was said was that
Rahul
there were
Gandhi
people
literally
who
said
were
those
dancing
words.
in the Pran Pratishtha. So far as the Pran Pratishtha is concerned, let me also tell you viewers, Padmaja, that 2 out of the 4 Shankaracharyas, the 4 biggest religious leaders of the Hindu faith, said that this
But
Pran Pratishtha
Shankaracharyas
is
are
in
not
conflict
fighting
with Hindu
elections, na
rituals.
sir. Shankaracharyas are not saying vote for me. I'm a Janeudhari Brahmin.
That's all right.
Shankaracharyas don't have to go to the people and ask their votes.
Padmaja, you'll have to allow me to respond. Shehzad makes 10 different points. I have to at least
Respond on
reply to
Revanth
5
Reddy.
of them.
Respond on Revanth Reddy. Are you still
Revanth
trying to
Reddy
give a context to every single thoughtless thing that has been said?
That is what I'm trying to say, Padmaja. Everything is said in a context, but the BJP takes out the context. And the most famous example of that is the fact that you had this viral video of Rahul Gandhi saying, "Aloo se sona, ऐसी machine बनाऊंगा जिसमें आलू डालोगे सोना निकलेगा." It was only later that it was found that Rahul Gandhi was saying Narendra Modi said this, but the BJP clipped it out. And they tried to make a fool of Rahul Gandhi.
One second, let me try this in another way.
Making these charges, and let me please respond to the earlier points that were made that Congress party ने सेना का अपमान करा. Congress party ने सेना का अपमान करा था.
Nikhil Jain, now can you calm down?
मिनिस्टर ने करा था who said कि सेना को तो मोदी जी के कदमों में होना चाहिए. The Congress party has been talking about the plight of the Agni Beast who are not being given the
then I
status
really
of
must
martyrs.
go back to the other guests. Okay.
Nikhil Jain, the same Renuka Chaudhary has said at the time of Operation Mahadev कि क्या इन जवानों की हैसियत है कि सच्चे आतंकियों को मारा? Is there a context? सड़क का गुंडा for army chief, is there a context? Operation Sindoor chutput and failure, is there a context? Tehseen Poonawala here says Operation Sindoor was the best thing that happened. Surgical strike was खून की दलाली. Is there a context? Balakot airstrike में चील कौवे मरे. And by the way, Rahul Gandhi has said Ramji is काल्पनिक. Why don't you say that about another faith का icon? Why don't you say it?
Harshvardhan ji, is it true that, Congress is also a victim of a bias? BJP takes things out of context and people like Nikhil Jain and Tehseen Poonawala complain, everyone jumps onto it. You throw the kitchen sink at Renuka Chaudhary, but Poonam Mahajan 2 years ago, inside the same parliament, was petting a stray dog. किसी ने कुछ नहीं किया. आज कांग्रेस वाले कह रहे हैं कि जब पूनम महाजन एक कुत्ते पर हाथ फेर रही थी तो किसी को तकलीफ नहीं थी. आज बिल्कुल रेणुका चौधरी के ऊपर प्रिविलेज करने की तैयारी हुई है.
Did Poonam Mahajan compare the parliamentarians to dogs?
No, she did. She did, but purely on the issue of yesterday there was such a
comparison.
No, because yesterday Sambit Patra did a press conference saying कि राहुल गांधी और रेणुका चौधरी सीरियस नहीं है. अरे पूनम महाजन भी पेट कर ही रही थी ना कुत्ते को.
Nobody has a problem with the dog. The problem is to call MPs and people inside parliament as biting dogs. And secondly, ये जानवरों वाला प्रेम, वो जो हलाल होते हैं धीरे 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 एक पर्व के समय, वो उन जानवरों के लिए थोड़ा है सिंपैथी.
अच्छा ठीक है, that is
इतना धीरे धीरे हलाल होते हैं वो.
ओके, हर्षवर्धन जी, क्या एक विक्टिम है कांग्रेस एक नैरेटिव की?
नहीं, नैरेटिव की विक्टिम तो नहीं है. नैरेटिव की विक्टिम तो जो भी पार्टी है वो हमेशा होती है. क्या नरेंद्र मोदी के खिलाफ कोशिश नहीं की गई? कौन सी कोशिश नहीं की गई बताइए आप? इतना लंबा समय हो गया, मुख्यमंत्री के तौर पर 2002 के दंगे को लेकर क्या क्या नहीं कहा गया। यहां तक कि आप सोचिए कौन लोग थे जिन्होंने यूएस का वीजा तक नहीं होने दिया। नैरेटिव का विक्टिम कौन है? और सोचिए, मैं ये बात कहता हूं, जरा थोड़ा पीछे जाते हैं, गांधी जी के हत्यारे संघ वाले ऐसा कहकर झूठा आरोप लगा दिया गया। आज तक कहीं उसका कुछ आधार निकला नहीं निकला, लेकिन कोशिश की गई कि कांग्रेस के अलावा कोई सत्ता में नहीं रहे, इसलिए सारी पार्टियों को ऐसे ही कर दिया गया। कांग्रेस ने सत्ता में रहते हुए किस किस तरह के नैरेटिव लगाए, वो मतलब वो टीवी पर हम बात
छोटी छोटी चीजों को ब्लो अप किया जाता है। चलिए, अगर मोदी जी कुछ बोले, राहुल गांधी बोले, समझ में आता है। छोटी छोटी चीजें, रेणुका चौधरी ने कर दिया, ये रागिनी नायक ने कर दिया, ये छोटी छोटी चीजों को ब्लो अप क्यों किया जाता है?
देखिए, रागिनी को तो अभी मैं इस डिबेट में ला भी नहीं रहा हूं। रागिनी को पता नहीं क्या हो गया, अच्छी खासी नेता थी वो छात्र संघ की, और मुझे लगता था कि वो अच्छा जाएगी, लेकिन रागिनी ने तो पिछले कुछ समय में जो किया उस पर डिबेट नहीं करना चाहिए। ऐसे क्या है कि दूसरे नेता भी उस तरह का ही काम करेंगे, बहुत नॉन सीरियस सा, वो उसको नहीं करना चाहिए। लेकिन रेणुका को आप उस तरह से नहीं देख सकते। रेणुका मंत्री रही हैं, रेणुका बहुत सीजन्ड पॉलिटिशियन है। रेणुका जो कर रही है और राहुल गांधी उस पर जैसे रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं, पवन खेड़ा जैसे रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं, ये एक जिसको कहते हैं ना कि चेन ऑफ इवेंट्स है, ये बहुत प्लान्ड वे में है। और सबसे बड़ी बात आप समझिए, इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि ये राहुल कांग्रेस, और मैं बार बार ये शब्द इस्तेमाल करता हूं, ये कांग्रेस नहीं है, ये राहुल कांग्रेस है। मैं पिछले 3-4 सालों से ये बात कह रहा हूं कि ये कांग्रेस राहुल कांग्रेस में कन्वर्ट हो गई। 19 की हार के बाद राहुल गांधी कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था, लेकिन उसके बाद जब वो लौटे तो एक अलग तरह की राजनीति करने लगे। विक्टिम वो स्वयं है अपने नैरेटिव के, वो बार बार ऐसी हरकतें करते हैं।
This behavior has the endorsement of Rahul Congress.
There is no endorsement from anyone. The only endorsement that the Congress party has is to debate serious issues. But the BJP will take things out of context, clip it and make it the most important national issue of the day, and even do press conferences on issues that don't require attention. How many press conferences has the BJP done on the pollution? How many press conferences has BJP done
I will
on other
actually,
pressing
since you
issues?
keep
You only
talking
want to
about
pick up
real
these
issues
Let's
not
come to
being
these
debated or
issues. And
focused
let's
on,
one second.
let me actually
give me
give you
30
a very
seconds.
serious piece of data about a very serious issue. Do you know, Tehseen, every day, including today, the Congress party stands and protests outside Parliament on the issue of vote chori and SIR. I'm holding up a report from Indian Express today. Do you know, in the entire exercise that is taking place in Uttar Pradesh, the Congress has deployed less than 31% BLAs. There are 17 districts where as of November 28, not a single BLA has been appointed by the Congress party. In comparison, 98.37% of the booths have got BLAs of the BJP. 87.46% of the booths have Samajwadi Party BLAs. Even the BSP, which doesn't have any power, any footprint now in Uttar Pradesh, has got a coverage of 85%. Your party, sir, protests in the name of SIR. You've got 30% BLAs across Uttar Pradesh. This is your seriousness. How do you explain this? You keep saying serious issue, serious issue. This is a serious issue. Where are BLAs?
That's okay. Let me answer this technically before I come to the other issues that I wanted to raise, but let me answer this technically, though I didn't want to get into this. Let's assume that there is an independent candidate who doesn't have BLAs. The process of elections and the vote roll and the vote rolls that have to be sanitized should be beyond reproach, should not be dependent on political parties in the first place. The fact that in 2002 when the SIR happened, it took 165 days, but it's taken 42 plus 7, 49 days and 11 documents right now shows that there's been a marked difference. But that is not
again you're sidestepping the main issue. I have a very simple question. If you think vote chori is happening, put your BLAs there to stop the vote chori. You couldn't be bothered. You will put on a mask. You will pick up a banner, you will get a bag, you will wear a t-shirt, you will do everything except what is required to be done, which is get your boots on the ground and do the damn legwork. You will not do it. You think that these memes and social media videos are going to make up for actual political presence. It's not going to happen. And people have told you this in Bihar, sir. People are telling you loud and clear. You're simply refusing to read the writing on the wall.
I appreciate the concern, Padmaja, and I may even second that concern. That still doesn't take away from the fact that with the party with 100, Padmaja, Please, I'm just trying to make a point
Yeah.
which I've been continuously sort of been held back on. I went on the SI issue, which was not the issue I wanted to discuss. So please, may I make my point? The fact of the matter is today, when the Congress party has 100 odd MPs in the parliament, they are duty bound in Lok Sabha and in Rajya Sabha to raise issues that matter to the people, whether they're boots on the ground or no. I agree with that and I concede to that.
Okay.
Even then, what is their mandate today is not happening. There is continuously a diversion from non-issues. Now, may I make one point? This is a very important point that I've been trying to make continuously, which has got interrupted 2 or 3 times.
Okay,
The same crime being committed by the BJP, the exact same crime, is never taken up or never become a national issue. For example, when Naresh Agarwal said some absolutely ridiculous things about Hindu gods and goddesses inside Parliament, Samajwadi Party threw him out. Today, Naresh Agarwal and his family is a proud member of the BJP.
That's a lie. Fact check this
When
lie right
Kripa
now.
Shankar Singh was
I will,
releasing
one
books
second.
comparing
You
RSS
cannot
to-
allow such lies to go on.
Okay, make your point very quickly. I'm out of time. Yes.
Tehseen Poonawalla thinks we're all fools. Naresh Agarwal continued in the Samajwadi Party for well over a year after making those comments. Point number 1. Point number 2, Tehseen, your SIR and vote chori is such a serious issue that the National Conference MP, Mr. Ramzan, gets up and says the Jammu Kashmir election was absolutely free and fair. Stop saying it's a vote chori. Point number 3, Tehseen Poonawalla, and all of them is trying to say that Modi aane ke baad ye pura star gir gaya. Oh really? Who called Atal Bihari Vajpayee a traitor? अटल जी तो अच्छे थे ना, चलो मोदी जी बहुत बुरे हैं, डीमन है, ठीक है, अटल जी तो इतने अच्छे थे, उनको ट्रेटर बोला. आस्क हर्षवर्धन जी, आस्क मिस्टर किदवाई, they called Atal Bihari Vajpayee. They are talking about language today. And finally, छोटी चीजें blow up हो जाती है, छोटी चीजें blow up हो जाती है, तो निकालो नहीं छोटी चीज बोलने वाले लोगों को और तहसीन को बनाओ ना सांसद.
Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. The point is, you can shoot the messenger and say that the media is taking things out of context. The BJP is blowing up a small issue. The problem is, if you already think the system, the media, everyone is against you, please stop giving them the opportunity by shooting yourself in the foot every time that you open your mouth. I'll leave it at that. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, for having joined me.
Two world leaders, one crucial meet. Putin says Namaste India. The bonhomie, the Big Bang deals.
भारत और रूस हमेशा कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर चले.
Strategic shifts and the global impact. NDTV tracks the high-stakes handshake. Modi-Putin summit on NDTV 24/7.
Thanks very much, Ambassador Ajay Bisaria, for speaking to us here on NDTV at this very, very interesting time. So first up, what would be your key expectations from this visit that's happening after 4 years?
Well, I would say this visit is both a routine visit as well as an important visit, because it's routine because this is the 23rd annual summit. These summits started in 2000. I happened to be then in the office of the then Prime Minister Vajpayee when Putin came for the first time in the year 2000. So now it's a 23rd visit. He's no stranger to India. But the visit comes at a very important geopolitical moment of flux in several of India's relationships, in several of Russia's external, not just partnerships, but in the war that is ongoing on Russia's borders. So I think it is an important economic visit from India's point of view. Since the war started in Ukraine, there have been multiple meetings between Prime Minister Modi and President Putin. But this is the first visit that will take place, or the first meeting that will take place in India since the war started. So I think that is the significance of the visit. There are a lot of deliverables, I believe, that are under discussion, under negotiation in a whole range of areas. And I'm sure there will be a very robust joint statement of political intention, of geopolitical intention, of where the two sides see the relationship. But much of the content of the relationship is bilateral, because it will refer to the energy supplies, the defense supplies, the economic partnership, the trade that has reached a level of $70 billion last year, the deficit which is in favor of Russia and against India. So I'm sure there'll be a wide-ranging discussion during this visit and multiple deliverables in both the defense and the civilian space.
Ambassador Saro, specifically about Ukraine, there have been attempts to try and get India to take a more strident stand. We've, of course, always taken the middle path. Do you expect to hear something about that repeatedly, especially from the West? There has been pressure on India to, sort of, if not rebuke, then at least take a stronger stand against Russia.
Well, this is not new because the war itself is now several years old, more than 3 years old. India has taken a very clear position when Prime Minister Modi told Putin very publicly that this is not an era of war. And Modi has been to Russia last year while the war was waging at the border. He also went to Ukraine. So India's position remains clear that India would put some pressure on Russia to end that war. And I think that would be something the West should be happy about, that India, which has considerable influence on Putin and Russia, will have a frank conversation about the war and certainly encourage Putin to end the war as soon as possible because of the loss of lives. So I think there will be, of course, strident voices in the West which will ask India to boycott Russia or to not have Putin come here. But, this is also a visit which is an assertion of India's strategic autonomy, India's multi-alignment, in India's right to have the kind of relationships it wants globally and to deal with each partner on their own merit.
How do you think that this visit is going to strengthen the relations between the two countries in forums like the BRICS and SCO?
Well, certainly an additional ballast is provided to the relationship between because of the India-Russia coordination and all the multilaterals where they are a part. In the G20, India and Russia coordinate. Russia was very supportive of India's role in the G20. Again, in the BRICS, India is going to take the chair of the BRICS and coordinates pretty closely with Russia on BRICS. We have multiple Foreign Office consultations, multiple dialogues in which we, exchange notes on various positions. And certainly the SCO, the last year in the Kazan SCO, India was present. And this year at Tianjin, you saw the trilateral handshake between Modi, Putin and Xi. So I think all these multilateral fora give additional platforms for India and Russia to coordinate positions, have those frank conversations, and it really helps and the support of each other in hosting these meetings.
And will that also take a step further in what happened in Tianjin, the condemnation of terror? This is the first time that the Russian president is going to be in India since Operation Sindoor.
I would expect there to be a strong condemnation of terrorism. Russia has been strongly supportive of Indian positions on terrorism historically. And if you see the joint statements on these summits over the years, there's been a very strong, unequivocal position that Russia takes on the terrorism issue. I expect this time to be no different. Remember, this is a year where India just went through a very serious conflict with Pakistan, with Op Sindoor. And I think there is, at some point, would be an acknowledgement on the Indian side that the STARS weaponry of this conflict was Russian weaponry. We had the S-400 air defense system, which had a hit of 315 kilometers across the border, which was a record. We also had the BrahMos missiles, which were important both on 7th May and 10th May in getting targets. So there was a lot of Russian weaponry at use. Russia would recognize that India uses this weaponry, but Russia would also acknowledge the terrorism challenge that India faces, which forces it to get into conflict.
In fact, those defense deals are also likely to be discussed during this summit. The fact that the supply of the S-400 has seen delays because of the war. Do you think that is also a major talking point?
Certainly, it will be, and traditionally this has been the position at these annual summits. There's a lot of troubleshooting that goes on, supply delays and stuff that hasn't happened through the year. There would be, I understand, military to military conversation at the defense minister's level right on the eve of the visit. But the whole purpose of this whole diplomatic architecture, which culminates in the annual summit, is to get out all the issues and resolve them during this summit. But apart from the existing platforms, existing supplies, there will also be futuristic conversations, I believe. For instance, the S-500 is on the horizon, so the newer version of the air defense system could be talked about. The Su-57 air platform, which is stealth fighters, fifth generation fighters, that would be a conversation as well. So I think in these summits, everything is on the table, everything is frankly discussed, and most of the time solutions are found.
And of course, the elephant in the room has been the oil imports from Russia. We've seen again and again statements made about how India should cut that off. We've been very clear that we are going to do whatever it takes to supplement our energy needs, but there has been a gradual reduction, a drawing down. Which direction do you see this going in?
Yeah, I think the way India is seeing this is that in a geopolitical sense, India would retain its autonomy to buy oil where it's cheapest or from whichever supplier it wishes to buy, no matter what their geopolitical adversaries would say. But at the operational level, if the price is more attractive in alternate sources, there would be a drying out of the oil purchases from Russia, because it also faces sanctions. So I think here the policy would be pragmatic, and if it's harder to get Russian oil and it's becoming more expensive and more sanction prone, Indian companies will look at alternatives. But the principle of India being able to buy where it sees fit, I think will again be emphasized. So it is an important issue. Last year, there was import of $64 billion. The trade went up to $68 billion because of that. But we also have to remember the irony that the Chinese imported as much, if not more, of oil, of more than $65 billion worth of oil, and that did not face any direct sanctions. So I think this is a ticklish issue. It will be discussed, but I'm sure the Russians would understand where India is coming from on this issue, and it is mostly an economic conversation with some flavor of geopolitics in it.
But Ambassador, is this really about getting a better price or a better deal elsewhere, or is this about, in a way, conceding to the kind of pressure we've seen, especially from America, from Donald Trump?
Well, I think the way it would be looked at is a pragmatic arrangement where India recognizes the fact that oil or energy may be cheaper from other sources, and retains its right to buy it from wherever it's cheaper. So I think, again, it will be not really seen to be conceding to pressure. That would be if India made an announcement that because of this pressure, we will stop buying Russian oil. But if Indian companies reduce their imports because of the sanctions and because of the prices, then that is something that India at the government level will accept. So I think it's a bit of a tightrope there, but clearly you want to retain the, in principle, ability to source your energy from wherever you want, while recognizing both the price and geopolitical hurdles on the way.
And finally, since you mentioned that this is a tightrope and India has been walking it for quite a while now, after this visit, do you see this tightrope between America on one side and Russia on the other get any easier for India, or status quo?
Yeah, I think, Padmaja, that's the whole point, because, you know, when these summits are planned, you don't plan on the geopolitics and the direction in which it will go. It so happens that while the summit takes place, there are 3 or 4 major geopolitical events that have come together, each unresolved, each with uncertainty. So the India-US trade deal is at a sensitive point, and the Americans have painted themselves in a corner by loading on the extra 25% because of Russian energy imports. The Russia-Ukraine war, now India as a stakeholder, is at a critical stage. So we have the US envoy, Steve Witkoff, who is today going to meet Putin to try to see how that 28-point plan or 19-point plan of Trump comes through. So hopefully that is reaching an end game as well. And then, of course, there is the Russia-India equation on its own, whether Russia, how Russia would deal with a situation where India reduces oil imports. So all these geopolitical factors will come into play, and I think this is the reality of the new geopolitics. You've got to do business while recognizing the complexity of geopolitical events that hit you.
And to help us navigate through all of that, Ambassador Bisaria, thank you very much for joining us here on NDTV.
Thank you.
सैल्यूट है जी, आप देश की रक्षा में जान लगा देते हैं और आप घर घर में तार लगाते हैं जी। ई बीम टेक्नोलॉजी से बनी, न जले न पिघले, सबकी रक्षा करे।
हम सरहद पर लोगों की रक्षा करते हैं और आप देश के अंदर। सैल्यूट तो बनता है जी।
अपार अणुशक्ति फायर प्रोटेक्ट वायर, अपार देश का तार।
21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They are now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arun, NDTV.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Namaste, India. As you all know, I've been traveling around the world with my music. But this one is truly special. Something that's India. You all must have seen the magic that was created in Kun Faya Kun. Now it's your chance to experience it with me. So book your tickets from District app and together let's create harmony of hearts. See you, Delhi.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Two world leaders, one crucial meet. Putin says Namaste, India. The bonhomie, the Big Bang deals.
भारत और रूस हमेशा कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर चले.
Strategic shifts and the global impact. NDTV tracks the high-stakes handshake.
Modi-Putin summit on NDTV 24/7.
सल्यूट है जी, आप देश की रक्षा में जान लगा देते हैं
और आप
घर घर में तार लगाते हैं जी। ई बीम टेक्नोलॉजी से बनी, न जले न पिघले, सबकी रक्षा करे।
हम सरहद पर लोगों की रक्षा करते हैं और आप देश के अंदर। सल्यूट तो बनता है जी।
अपार अनुशक्ति फायर प्रोटेक्ट वायर, अपार देश का तार।
A complaint has been filed against Bollywood actor Ranveer Singh in Bengaluru. This complaint was made after he was accused of mocking Chamundi Deva during a stage address at the International Film Festival of India in Goa. While praising Kantara and actor Rishabh Shetty, Singh allegedly described Deva as a demon and a female ghost. Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar has flown down to Delhi this evening, a day after his second breakfast meeting with CM Siddaramaiah. This is amid reports of an internal tussle for the top position within the state. However, in an exclusive conversation with NDTV, he said that the visit to the national capital is a personal one.
Front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
so many attacks,
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break, live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
सल्यूट है जी, आप देश की रक्षा में जान लगा देते हैं
और आप
घर घर में तार लगाते हैं जी। ई बीम टेक्नोलॉजी से बनी, न जले न पिघले, सबकी रक्षा करे।
हम सरहद पर लोगों की रक्षा करते हैं और आप देश के अंदर। सल्यूट तो बनता है जी।
अपार अनुशक्ति फायर प्रोटेक्ट वायर, अपार देश का तार।
They have inspired us. They have redefined what's possible. They have shown how ideas spark inspiration and create impact. NDTV Indian of the Year 2025. Ideas, inspiration, impact. Coming soon.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They're now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country